Welcome to part 3 of our wedding series. In part 1, I showed you a ceremony arrangement. Part 2, a tall centerpiece. Part 3, I'm going to show you a low centerpiece that'll coordinate perfectly with our tall centerpiece. As you recall, our tall centerpiece was in a tall glass vase with a gold stem. This is the coordinating low gold container that goes with it. Now, in many of the weddings we do, because of budget and just to give it variety, we'll do maybe a third or half of the centerpieces tall and the rest low. So I'm just going to show you a low centerpiece that coordinates with that last tall centerpiece using the same materials. Let's get started. So we're going to use the white hydrangeas from the last video to set our the mass part of our centerpiece. Okay. I'm just using kind of short pieces of hydrangea. That will give you a nice rounded shape to the arrangement and coordinate nicely with the last arrangement we just did. And of course, this could be translated for home use. You could do the tall arrangement, for instance, I just showed you, for your buffet. And these lower arrangements could be just the centerpiece you want to use. And I'm going to just green in slightly with some pittosporin, using the same greenery and flowers as the last two videos so that there's continuity in design like we do for a wedding. Later this year, I'm going to set up an entire wedding and I'll film it and show you what it's like to go on a wedding delivery with me. And let me know if you want to come with me on a tour of the San Francisco flower market one of these days. So far I've been showing you lots of videos featuring the flowers from my own home. But when we do a wedding, we actually buy our flowers from the flower market. We don't do it from my home flowers, obviously. Okay, now we're going to add in these beautiful polka roses. Polka roses, I think there's a clip of me cutting them from this wall of perennials and roses that I have in my garden. They were so tall, the stems are so long, that I had to cut them or else they were going to flop over. Okay. I love polka. It's such a beautiful rose. It opens up so large and roughly, it doesn't look real. And as delicate as these blooms look, they're actually pretty long lasting in the vase. I think this piece of green is too long. Cut it down a little bit. Okay. Then we're going to add in this beautiful sprig, these beautiful sprigs of pure perfume, the white roses. They smell so good. They really are aptly named Pure Perfume. This has been a really amazing rose to grow in the garden. It is non-stop bloomer. It's really, really vigorous. I've actually rooted it from cuttings, and I've given it to friends, and they have all thrived. So this is a great rose. The only problem is it does get very, very tall. The stems get super long. It's not a bad thing, but you do have to kind of do a little bit of pruning in the summer. Otherwise, they flop over. Like the stems are almost too long. High class problems, right? Stems too long on these roses. They last really long and they smell fabulous. and they are a very vigorous rose. I would say they will bloom into November in Northern California here. So that and another rose I have called Royal Wedding are my two most reliable bloomers in the garden. For many years, these Pure Perfume were not great because the one thing is they're very susceptible to black spot. So for many years they would defoliate because of black spot. But now I am more careful to make sure that we don't get any black spot. And they've been better the last few years. Okay, mostly done. I'm going to add in a little bit of this white Alstroemeria because we had it in our tall centerpiece. It's just a very pretty texture that's a little different from the roses and spray roses that we always use. And sometimes I like to add around the edges because it's just kind of frilly. And like I always say, I like my arrangements very full, but you want to have a few things in here to loosen it up a bit. Okay, we're mostly done. I'm going to add a few sprigs of this broccoli hydrangea, these pale green hydrangeas, just to have some of that fresh green that we have in the ceremony arrangement, as well as the tall centerpiece. And then I think we are done. I'm going to give it a spin, see if we covered everything. It looks good. And this is a simple round arrangement that's a companion piece to the tall centerpiece we just showed you. And this is very typical of weddings we do, okay? And hopefully this will inspire you to do something extraordinary for your next party at home.